Is now being recorded.
Okay. Uwe, could you accept people if they want to join so that I can?
Sure.
If I'm not reacting, so then we can do it both. So hello everybody to another session of the XStepCafe. Happy New Year 2014, of course, since we haven't spoken yet since. All right. To get started, I'll just maybe I kick off with some stuff about the blog or on the XStepCafe. I've recently just found out that I still have this forum going on, and I now have changed it a little bit so to point people more to the Google Plus community. The forum was still used a little bit, so I see some traffic there, and I try to answer some things there, but usually I only watch the Google Plus community because I've got some notifications there going on, and I'm regularly trying to answer things there. So that's just one announcement. I think that I have nothing prepared, or prepared a little bit, but not so much that I can cover the whole hour. But maybe that's also good, because some of you might have some questions you'd like to ask. Let me just make this little demo, and then we can have a big question answer round after that. Right. So where does it come? So yes, I think it was this question from Emmanuel, who had the issue. He wanted to lock or unlock certain phases or orders using the broadcast event. And one thing he didn't really realize was that a broadcast event, if you'd use that, is really sent to anybody who listens to that broadcast. So if you specify a broadcast event, you listen in a PI sheet, and the broadcast event is very generic, and you send this broadcast, then every PI sheet who listens to that event is really also reacting to that broadcast. And that was not what he intended to do. So I pointed out.
Could you please share your screen if you show something, because the screen is not shared yet.
Oops. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Oh, I think that didn't happen in a long time. So, okay, so yes, that was the post. I just spoke about all this, so you could easily follow, I think. But now, of course, it's important that I have shared, because I want to show you how this can be managed anyhow with some tricks. So what I did here is I created a small example of, I called it order-specific broadcast listener. And what I did here is, first of all, in the, maybe I'll just set it to change here. In the parameters, I created two parameters, one for the order number, one for the control recipe destination, which is just the 2-digit one, and that is important, and I explain later why that is important. And I chose the proper symbols for the valuation, of course, and then I set up a very simple XStep here. So just some long text. I just for logging purposes, I just put out the parameters, which is not important for my demo, but the really important thing is here. I just as an example, I chose the command document save, because it's very easy to follow that something is happening there. And what I did, I just open it here.
Welcome.
And
Our switchboard is busy right now.
okay,
Please hold
Uwe,
the
can you
line
try to find that
until
that
the
person and
connect
mute it?
operator becomes available.
Bienvenue. Notre centrale téléphonique est actuellement occupée. Veuillez patienter un instant pour être mis en relation avec le prochain opérateur disponible.
How can I mute this? What happens here?
Arne, the advise him 2 and 3 people who are not joining. It's just that I logged on 3 times by accident.
I think I mute.
They should.
I mute.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm unmuted. You are still muted, but I think you can unmute yourself if necessary. So I think now this music should be over, hopefully. Okay. Sorry for that. So let's. Are you still there? Is anybody has unmuted and can say something? Hello?
Nothing. I think we can go on.
Okay, so you're still there. Okay, great. So I continue with this. I chose the command document save and action execute, and the trigger there is trigger type event. And then what I did is, of course, if you let me just copy that briefly to save it. What you do when you use the value help here, you choose external events, choose MDA, broadcast, and then this is just a placeholder, this category. But the placeholder with these ampersand signs here, as you might know, can also be used to put some parameters inside. Yeah. So, and here's already one important thing. This field here, I think, I don't know, can I do something more? No, the field is not restricted, but is it? You can type in more than 30 characters here, so there's nothing to watch out here. But later on, you need to watch out that the whole string in total with the evaluated stuff here is not longer than 30 characters. It's quite unfortunate that this is fixed and has to be exactly that way. So this is sort of the prefix, but that's something to watch out for. Okay, so that's my little example. And what I did is, I just put it into process order, and I generated the control recipe here. Of course, the evaluation here took place. So here's the destination name, 0E, and that's the order number. And what puzzled me at first when I tried it out just recently is when I look at it here, it still shows you the parameters. So it does not show you the replacement of the evaluated parameters. But Uwe was so kind to look it up for me and confirm that it's really replaced in the process of the control recipe generation, and I want to show you that it really works. So what I have here, I just opened up this control recipe, this PI sheet, and let me just open it up freshly, like that. So you see just this line here. Now I have this program which I recently demonstrated to you, and I just prepared my broadcast, and I did it with these leading numbers. I can try it out without leading numbers, whether that works as well, but I just execute it right now to show you. So watch for this line here, and when I execute it here, then you see that this PI sheet has reacted. What also is obvious, I've got here another PI sheet which I opened, and when I do the same again here, this one does not react. So it's not working for that one, just for the one here, which matches the order number and the destination. Let me just quickly check if I can also trigger it with that. No, yeah, you see, the leading numbers are important, so I re-enter them again and do it again. Yeah, so you see it works again. So you see that's the trick, and if you count them, I think it's 29 characters. So yes, if you want to do some different things, like for example, I'm not sure, I think Emmanuel might have the issue to lock or unlock phases of one of the PI sheet. That might be a little bit more tricky, because then we have this 30 character limitation. Don't know whether it's possible at all. Maybe some other means, but maybe you create a different parameter which has the order number without leading zeros, so a shorter version. If you just have the number range with maybe 8 characters instead of 12, then you could create an own valuation symbol for that shorter version of the order number. Then you have more space for anything like, for example, a phase number or so, which you could probably add here. It's not very nice, but yeah, that's the well-known limitation of the 30 characters in this case. Okay, so that was my small little demo in reaction to that Google Plus post, and yeah, I open it up for your questions, and go ahead.
Hi Arnie, this is Seshu.
Hi Seshu.
I got a question. We are implementing PI sheets in our company.
Oh, sorry, Seshu. First of all, does anybody have a question on this demo before you have any other questions?
Arnie, on your demo, I have a question. Is it necessary that the PI sheet is opened in CO60 and only then the save will work, or even in background without it open, will it go ahead and save the PI sheet for the function you showed?
I would guess it's important that it is open. Uwe, do you know? Let's see. Is there something in the log I can save? Okay, let's see. So we have 3 success. I don't know what happens if I'm just doing it like that. Well, not sure what happens here. I think the log is only on that session here. So I would have to set up a known example with maybe some more severe, like a locking or something like that, so that I can check it. But I think it's only works when the PI sheet is open.
All right, thank you, Arnie.
It's Emmanuel. You said that it was important, the destination. Why it was important?
Well, that is just for the case if you have multiple PI sheets for the same order. Of course, you're right. If you only have one PI sheet for one order, then you don't need this. Then the order number is sufficient, and then you might have also some more space for other things you want to trigger for that order.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, glad I could help.
Yeah, I will try. Let you know.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe you post in the Google Plus
I will.
if it was successful. Okay. Okay. So sorry, Sergio, that I interrupted you, but I thought that would round it up more. Okay, go ahead.
No problem. Thank you. So the question is, we are implementing PI sheets in our company. So one of the requirements is to implement in Hebrew language. The Hebrew language is written from right to left. So other languages, most of the languages are written from left to right. So what I did, I copied the standard SAP style sheets and modified the HTML tag to HTML dir RTL, and then called PPPI layout, which actually worked for me successfully, and it's right justified. And so one of the issue which I'm facing right now is this works great when the logon language is English, but when the logon language is Hebrew, I'm getting a syntax error in my PPPI layout when I'm calling the style sheet, so I'm not able to generate the control recipe.
That's odd.
I sometimes I had the problem too, but in my case it wasn't the style sheet which made the problem. It was just the characters, the characteristics of the PI sheet. If you create a character, you can create it in different languages, and you have to create it in all languages. You use the PI sheet later.
I have put translation for every single character's custom characteristics I created.
Okay, now then it should work.
Did you already open up an OSS message for that? Because
yes, I did that. I'm still waiting for the response.
Okay, yeah. So they should respond soon, depending on, of course, on your priority. I think there have been some issues, requests in the past, and I would encourage you to look for any notes regarding RTL. Maybe you find something there as well.
Okay, I will do that.
Yeah.
Hello, guys. I'm probably the only Israeli in the call now, and you're lucky today that I joined. I have also implemented PI sheets in Hebrew, so I think that a part of translating the descriptions, as mentioned before, this should be supported. So I had PI sheets in Hebrew and it worked. So I think it's a case of, as Arne said, OSS.
Okay.
Did you modify the style sheets? Sorry.
It was well back ago, 2007, so I have to remember. No, we didn't do any fancy style sheet modification actually. We use a standard PI sheet.
Okay. I mean that would be maybe you can connect to each other and could help each other a little bit if you've managed to do it. Maybe there's something. I'm sorry, I didn't have any experience on my own on that, so I cannot really be of any help.
Thank you. No problem.
So you could, I mean, via the chat you can exchange email addresses or something. Maybe you can help him.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hey, this is Ravi. I have a question.
Yes.
Hey, I already posted on the Google Plus. So this is actually the basic functionality of sending control recipe destinations independently. So when we were using the PI categories initially without XSteps, you could actually choose send destination B1 first and then send destination B2. In our client, what is happening is some of the parameters for the next destination do not get finalized till the very end. So we would like to send the set of destination 1 first and then later wait for some time and send destination 2. Is it possible with XSteps?
That I didn't come across that requirement. So, do you have any stuff that is triggered in your PI sheets on document generated?
No, actually.
Why is that important?
Yes, the reason it is important is we have a few ingredients which are very critical, so we deal them in the first set of phases. In the next set of phases, there is an MQC which the user actually manually runs, and based on the MQC, the other quantities get determined. So when we want to show the target quantity to weigh and show the tolerances, it is important that the MQC runs and then they release the next destination. So that is the key reason. It's more like the change in the business is so quick that it has to be an in-process of the change.
Okay, but so it's not really the issue to first send one control recipe and then the other, but first open and complete one PI sheet and then open and work on the next PI sheet, correct?
More than that, the parameters should be evaluated for the next PI sheet just before opening it. That's the key requirement. Because the parameters are changing in the order. So we are, like for example, retrieving the total quantity or target quantity or reservation quantity. We need to retrieve it dynamically at that point. So we want to release it later.
I mean, just talking manually, it's possible to first send one control recipe of one destination and then wait and send the other. But you probably want to have it in a job, yeah. So
even manually is okay for us. Even if there is a manual option, that should be fine. I checked the system. I couldn't find a manual option.
Okay, but let me just check. I mean, you've got here the control recipe monitor via destination address, yeah. So you can really.
But at this point, already the parameters have been evaluated, right? By the time the control recipe is created, that is the thing.
Yeah. But I mean, this is the control recipe monitor when you. Oh, you mean when you create the control recipe?
Right. I'm talking about creation. So we're not going to want to create the control recipe of the second destination until the first one is done.
Okay. So I never did that. I even don't know that was possible and it's not possible anymore. So you say in the
PI category.
Let me just have a quick look. Let me try. I mean, for instance, if you let me just revoke that generation here. Oops, I'm in display mode. Okay.
Yes.
So change process order. Okay. Go to XSteps. What you can do, of course, if you are in this XStep tree, hold on, it comes up. Right. Let me just. You can create multiple trees, yeah, and assign those different destinations, yeah, like that. Like weighing station, and then create another one with production, for example, and then you can let me just at least create one reference here, which is probably just the one I have created before. Doesn't matter. The system is very slow. Sorry for that.
No issue. This is the exact test I was trying to do. So go ahead.
Well, let me just finish it up so that the others also see what I mean. Come on. Okay, I'll just do this one here. Okay. Okay, let's copy that over. Okay. So now I've got these two trees, and now I can go here and say control recipes generate, and I think that should only okay, let me just do it for test. Yeah, so you see, only this one has been generated. This one is still open, and now you can I can save it. You can send this control recipe. You can work on it, and then you can enter the process order again and generate the next one.
Oh, okay. Because when I tried the same, it actually generated for all the tree ones. So I wasn't sure.
You have to set the focus here on that tree. I'm not sure if what happens if I'm just do it like that. I would imagine that it's it's like that. If you I don't know if you did you do it here from the XStep tree view, or did you do it from the header view?
I did it from the XStep view.
I think here you can send say control recipe generate for test, and I think if you do that, then it will just create anything.
And you can also I think you can also not customize it, but set it for the, I think it was the order type that you want after during releasing, that you automatically create the control recipes. So got it right. So could it be that is
yes, but that is exactly what then wouldn't help, because then it would just create all. And in this case, he wants to control it more detailed. So I'm not sure whether that really is feasible for you, because then you would really have to go in here and click here and then do this. I mean, you can still use the shortcut here, Control F9 or Shift F9. But it's a little bit more cumbersome.
Can you actually send the third one now? Can you send the third one now? Because
send or create?
Yeah.
Create or send?
Yeah. Okay.
So I just I can just do it here. So generate for test, and now this one is also generated.
All right, I'll give it a shot in our system. The only thing is you created this third one manually, but if everything comes through a recipe authoring, I think it should still work the same. I'll update in the Google post if it's successful for us.
Okay, Uwe, in the recipe, it's also possible to have multiple trees, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. So it should work.
Okay. Thanks, Arne and Uwe.
Okay. You're welcome. Any other question?
Hi, Arne. It's Gil again. I think I posted a question related to integration with the recipe management and XSteps. I have a client that manages his master recipe bombs, materials in recipe management, and he is maintaining there also process instructions.
Which recipe management? The SAP tool or any other?
Yeah, the SAP tool.
Okay.
So specifically here, it sits on a different ECC box. But that's just the same functionality, okay? They would like to integrate, so there is a requirement to have PI sheets in shop floor. They are less interested in consumption of components and good receipt, basically not really working with PI sheet, but they would like to show in a PI sheet form the instructions for the shop floor operator. And those instructions are maintained in recipe management in this workbench, and they would like to basically, when they publish and generate from this recipe a master recipe, they would like to get the instructions in a form of ready for PI sheet. So,
and where
I know that
where do these texts appear in the recipe, in the master recipe, I say?
So this is exactly what I'm struggling with now, because those are two different boxes. So we are trying to do a proof of concept. Because it's two different boxes. I cannot customize PP related stuff and generate a PI sheet in the recipe management box. So I'm currently struggling with that, but it seems like the documentation of recipe management says that I can create only the normal process instructions and not XSteps.
Yeah, so this is correct. The recipe management is a tool that was developed by the folks from PLM, and there is no implementation for an XStep maintenance or the XStep runtime to the recipe management itself. You only have the chance to, let's say, create the master recipes based on the recipes that you maintain in the recipe management, and then add the XSteps there. So there is.
So can I mix and match? Can I mix and match and basically instructions? No, I don't think I can.
But can you maintain fields in recipe management which then appear as text in the phase or operation description of that master recipe?
Yes, but I feel that it really relates to those specific, like, temperature. Please set up the baking machine temperature to 90 degrees and stuff like that. So it's not really phase description. It is specific. Each phase should have its own instructions. The thing is that,
but for each phase you can have a description, and if you just accumulate these instructions in this phase description, you could generate it in the XStep with all these phase descriptions. But of course it's just plain text, so it's not really.
Walk around, yeah. The thing is that I said here in the approach that if we integrate between the two systems, between SAP management and SAP, basically it's forcing me to work with the old without XSteps. And I said as an approach before a global template release, we say, if we want to have PI sheets, let's work with the best technology, which is XSteps. And I'm now forced to go with a little bit of an older.
Yeah. Uwe, when a recipe has process instructions, the old process instructions inside, and you switch to XSteps, then these are deactivated, correct?
It depends on the chosen recipe profile. So we have this, if you create a master recipe, you choose a profile normally. This is PI01, and here the process instructions are, let's say, those that are seen or used and maintained, and you can't maintain XSteps. We have shipped the separate recipe profile PI01 XS, which allows you to maintain process instructions. But when you create your first XStep tree, the XStep related, the XStep maintain process instructions get relevant, and the old one, the characteristic-based process instructions maintained before the phases of the master recipe are not used anymore. And here you can steer it. But the question would be if it's necessary in the recipe management to define the XSteps or to assign standard XSteps as an example. and then to create the master recipes as copies from the recipe that's maintained in the recipe management and inheriting the XStep data, which would be very comfortable. But I'm afraid that there was no development.
Uwe, I just wanted to think about something else. So if they would sort of create recipes, master recipes, with the profile which allows both, and then then they switch over to the XStep version, then in the database or in the object of that master recipe, those process instructions are still sort of there, but they're just not active, correct?
They're there, but they're not.
You could find them. So what I want to maybe, but that's also sort of a workaround. But you could try to implement new generation scope and valuation symbols for specific process instructions which are in that recipe. Probably you could then find those, because I mean in ABAP you can still sort of query those, and then you could get those data back and in one parameter in the XStep generation. That's just a very wild guess. Just don't don't quote me here, but I mean that could be possible probably. Or Uwe, what do you think?
Yeah, I think this should. I'm not quite sure if we. We have anyhow we have to check it. If we can access it. It should be in the tables at least. When you, I don't know exactly. We have to check it, but I think that it's also the old process instruction data is loaded. But I'm not that sure. If it's loaded when you start the master recipe, then you have access to it. Otherwise, it won't be loaded. But the XStep data would be loaded. But we can check this and provide an answer later on.
And if that would be possible, then you could create your nice standard XStep, which just with this generation scope and certain valuation symbols that evaluate the parameters, and then you could sort of display those probably in a table or something like that for each phase. So that could be a solution.
So what we had in also in discussions with our colleagues from SAP PPPI Consultant is that more and more customers ask for a mass assignment of at least XStep data in master recipes that did not have XStep data before, and there are, let's say, some solutions how you can do this, mostly based on, let's say, an automatic or semi-automatic generation of an XStep tree that gets references to standard XSteps that we defined before. But this is not standard, and anyhow you have to define which part of the later PI sheet has to be related to a phase, or let's say at least a working block in your master recipe.
Yeah.
For this we made a I think very simple generation symbol. We just made a generation symbol for the phase. So we have a parameter in the XSteps where we type in the phase number and gave the XStep the generation symbol of the to the phase, and at the generation in the PI sheet in the order, it generates the XStep just to the phase defined in the parameter of the XStep, and so you don't have to maintain the master recipe.
I'm not sure I got that really, but
no, we had the problem too, that we have a lot of master recipes, and we don't want to maintain the context of the XStep. So where you say XStep 1 to phase 1, XStep 2 to phase 2, and so on. And so we just made a generation symbol for the XStep, and the generation symbol is controlled by a parameter in the XStep. So in the repository we say XStep1 goes to phase 100, and the generation is generated for all phases, but just with where the phase has the same number as the as the parameter. So we made a little trick.
I see. I see where you get that. It's a little bit another use case, I think, though.
Yes, it's we made the same as a process instructions. Maybe this can help.
I mean, the question was about integrating the recipe management system with XStep, and that still more to.
No, I thought we were at that maintaining of the master data, so that don't need to be so much maintained, and that was just an example for me. I think that if you do something like that, there can be less maintain of the master recipe, and you don't need to get the data, and it just maintain some XSteps in the repository with the data in it, and get it by the generation. Maybe that can help.
Okay. All right. Any more question or follow-up question on that?
Me, I have a new question. Emmanuel, I have a question regarding layout for touchscreen PC. We looked at the layout for touchscreen because we have a lot of touchscreen in our ATEX area. And it's good, but we try to find a way to increase the scroll bar. Do you know if there is a way?
Well, I actually I tried out, but I can only say that the scroll bar is not part of the HTML. So therefore, you would need to do that on OS level, operating system level. And I think there's in Windows there's some setting somewhere to make these bigger. And I think that you shouldn't do.
Okay.
Try search there somewhere. So yeah, that's those kind of decorations. These are all browser dependent as well. So there's nothing you can do with style sheets and CSS.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay, I have another question. It's Kurt. We have been implementing shift nodes integrated within the PI sheet, and that works very nice. So also based on your input, Arne, from one of the previous sessions, so that's all good. Also linked with the process message and the posting. Now my customer's question is to have the shift nodes in fact as a table parameter, so that you can add message text or notes for every record in a table. So this has been defined as a table parameter. This also works, but there is a restriction. When you don't put it in a table, you get nicely scroll bars when you access the capacity of the box, and you can type as much as you want. But in a table line, when you have the PPPI message characteristic, you just have one line and you can continue typing, but you will only see a limited number of characters. I think again 30 characters, but you can, when you go with the mouse over the field, you can see the full text, but only when you go with the mouse over it. So I was just wondering if there is a way to make this a little bit nicer, that you can see the full text of this message even in a table. But I did not find a way so far.
Well, I think I have posted some hints on CSS classes somewhere on my blog, and you can probably find table input field class somewhere which you could try to tweak with CSS style. There was also another post, and also I think we have something in the XStepCafe library where we showed how to manipulate things via CSS in the PI sheet. Also recipe, which can also be done recipe based, because it's just something you can do in one PPI HTML text, and probably you can do something there with I don't know, height and scrolling, and then some CSS settings you could try to experiment with.
Okay, that's a good idea. Thank you.
Yeah.
And linked to this, so we are, of course, everything that has been created as a shift node in the sub database. We also use the categories, so that also works fine. But then we wanted also to use a shift reporting functionality. But we preferred not to do this linked to the Adobe document services. But we seem to be stuck there because I think it's a mandatory link that you need to set up. But I'm not sure about that. Maybe you or Uwe can give a hint on the ADS functionality. If we really need to use it, maybe it's a mandatory functionality when using shift reports, or if there is another way.
I think Uwe, I'd like to pass this to you.
Great. So as far as I know, from let's say the printout and the PDF generation uses the ADA-based ADS printer part, then you require this one. But I can also clarify with the colleagues if it's really necessary. I think we use the ADS part. Yeah. So and as far as I got it right, it's quite a couple of years ago that ADS runs on a Java stack, but I'm not that really sure. So, but I can also provide you with some information about this.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Arne, just to confirm from our previous discussion, I was successful in doing that. Step 3 is the key. I updated the Google Plus post, so thanks again.
Okay, glad I could help. Anything else? Time's nearly up, so I don't mind if nothing comes, but please feel free. Okay, if nothing else is up.
Maybe okay. Still a last question from my side. I think the answer is no, but I will ask it anyway. Maybe you surprise me.
Now come the hard questions.
So we have done some adjustments in the metadata of the PI sheet to add the quantity of the order and to add a specific field that is in the bill of material header, for example. This works fine through valuation symbols and through the meta.
So for the others, metadata, that's something you can additionally display here on the header.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now the customer asked to put a hyperlink to a specific document. It's kind of operating procedure. And they want to click on that hyperlink, and they would like to be that always available. So they prefer to have that also in this nice header section. I've been checking, but I did not find a solution, and I think the reason why is that when you click, you make it bigger or smaller. So the system cannot know if you want to have a hyperlink or if you want to make it bigger or smaller. So maybe you have another idea that I did not think about to put a hyperlink that will always be visible.
Is that always the same hyperlink for every PI sheet, or?
Well, we could. Are you now referring to include it in the style sheet probably, or somewhere hard coded, or no?
So is different, yes.
Well, yes, it will be different, but not so much. So we could also go for a more hard-coded solution if you have one.
You can put it on the right. There is a cockpit with the buttons, and you can customize it pretty easily.
Something, yes. Use a cockpit.
I did it before for pharma, SOPs and transaction calls and so on.
You mean the manufacturing cockpit?
Yes. And it also you can call it in the layout. You can call different manufacturing cockpits, so you can play it around. It doesn't have to be the same one for all PI sheets.
Yeah, but then you have other restrictions, of course. You are not anymore working order dependent. You have the classical process instructions. You have so yeah, I see what you mean. But
and to put these links in a phase 0 like here.
Well, we have already a lot of information in phase 0, so if we would freeze phase 0, it would become a too big freeze. In fact, we have put a material list in phase 0, and because the materials are everywhere in all phases assigned, components, so this makes the phase 0 quite big, and I did not really find a way to fix the material list to another phase. That's also tricky because yeah, the generation of the components will look at where the components are assigned. So that would also mean that would also become very complex. So yeah, it's not really directly an option.
I mean, what happens here in essence is I mean, this is an area here which listens to a click event here, yeah, and therefore it's not passing through any clicks to any object which is inside this area. That's what happens here. And not sure, I mean, of course with enough knowledge on XSL and HTML and so, you could probably try to tweak that in the style sheet, but I don't know whether it's possible or how that could be done.
But it could be in the section where you see all the commands like save, complete, print, expand, collapse.
Maybe, I mean, maybe. Okay, let's work like this. I mean, this whole metadata thing here is a fixed functionality. Yes. What I did in the past is for some customers I put in here a customer logo, for example, and to do that in the style sheet, I needed to make this whole area not 100% white, but a little bit less. And you could think of identifying a special, I don't know, a special long text, HTML long text characteristic, which you sort of catch. So you put it inside phase 0 with a special characteristic name, and you must of course make sure that it does not appear here in phase 0. So that's first. And then you would need to display it on this area. If that might be possible. So in that case, you could display it here, and then because this area might not be which listens to this click, you know, because here on the button on the top here there is also not the click active. So if this area does not respond to the click, it would probably let the click through to these hyperlinks. I don't know if you understood what I said, but
I think so. Yeah.
So, but then of course, just a warning to everybody who's listening who didn't hear that from me before. Manipulating style sheet is really something you must be aware of what negative things you get with this. So you always have to be careful when you create messages with our SAP support, because you use a custom style sheet. They will probably try to blame your custom style sheet on any problems you might have with the PI sheet. So then you have to make sure that you have not a custom style sheet to reproduce any error you have in the PI sheet. That's one thing. And of course, if any updates on the SAP standard style sheets are published with any SP or so, you have to sort of adapt your custom style sheet again. So that's a quasi modification, if you want. So it's possible, but it is a nasty thing, or can be a nasty thing. But it can open up a whole universe of possibilities, which you have, of course, to do the maintenance for.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anybody some final last words?
Arne, this is Ravi on the same topic. If you want to untie the release to the control recipe destinations, is it a simple config or is it a code involved? Like when you release the order, generally it automatically generates the control recipes, right?
Yeah, but that's in the profile somewhere. Oh boy, that's a long
fine.
time
If
ago.
it's a config, I'll pick it up. That's fine. I just want to know
somewhere in customizing, you can control this. Uwe, do you know by heart where that was?
Oh, I didn't remember the syntax, but I think it's on the audit-dependent parameters.
Okay,
or is it production scheduling profile? I'm not sure about that. Yeah, but you will find it. Somewhere you can control that. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, one additional remark. There's also mass maintenance for process and production orders, and as we implemented the execution steps for the production orders and the standard routings, we enhanced also the possibility that you can, I think, generate the control recipes within this mass maintenance transaction. If it's wanted, I can perhaps demo it next time you have the XStepCafe, because it also helps if you have, let's say, large control recipes that you generate and resulting a long time to release your order. Because when you say, okay, I will release the order and automatically want to create and send create the control recipes, this could take really some time until the order is released. And therefore it's possible to split the creation of the control recipes to the mass maintenance that can also be executed in the batch, as far as I know.
Okay, great, thanks, Uwe. Another thing which I'd like to address is if it is possible with this SAP Connect, which we are using here, that also any of the participants can share any screen. And so just for you as a food for thought, maybe if you have some problem which you would like to show us in one of the XStepCafes, it's sometimes better to show it instead of just describing it in words. Then you could try to share your screen as well. It might be necessary to try it out before, because sometimes you need to install a small thing from Adobe here, but usually it works quite nice. So just as a thing to remember. Maybe if you have some more complex thing you want to show us or demonstrate to get answers. Okay, so with that, I think we are at the end of today's session. It was a pleasure to discuss with you. It's always nice to also see how you interact with each other.
Arne, I have a question.
Okay.
This is Ramesh Sunkarapalli. When is the next session?
It's in roughly 2 months, and as usual, I will show it here in my XStepCafe. Where it is here on this area here.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So with that, I really close it up now. I wish you all a nice day, and we'll talk to each other in roughly 2 months. Okay, bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.